Hi, in this session we're going to show you how to add a customer account. So once logged in, we go to admin dashboard and we have customer accounts here. Go to active. And these are the accounts that you use to define pricing matrices for particular customers. So we're in our Acme Taxis demo site, so we have a default in-house account that you can move jobs onto that aren't going to be invoiced anywhere, possibly. We've created a customer account for our website B2C booking engine, so we can set a pricing matrix against that. You could have another one for the passenger app, but primarily you would use these for your customers that you invoice. So once you've clicked on the Add New button, you go ahead and start to enter the name of the corporate customer. Let's just say that one of your customers is the Bank of Ireland. You would have a unique account number associated with that. Whichever format you use is your preference. You can grade this customer account, and when you watch the drivers video section, you'll see how you can exclude certain drivers from performing bookings on behalf of different accounts. So if you have a new driver starting with you, let's just say that this is one of your highest priority accounts, you've got a new driver starting. So if that driver's grade was less than 7, then he wouldn't be able to carry work out on behalf of this customer. It's just a way of protecting your credibility, reputation, obviously. So the type of corporate account, so is it a corporate account that you'll be invoicing on a schedule? Is it a pay in vehicle account, which could be cash, or is it a credit card account? So obviously for our products, the web plugin and the passenger app, they're credit card accounts. If you wanted to take payments at the time of booking for this customer, you would also select that. But we use corporate account as this would be an invoiced scenario. The date the account was open. Integrated partner and reference is to do with our transport services manager layer. It's probably not something you use on a day-to-day basis unless we connect you to demand partners. We come down here, we've got account contacts, so we just populate some information there. So I've just populated some information in here. So contact information, so you can have a couple of contacts. This doesn't really do anything, it's just for your records. The billing contact, obviously you just check the box and it'll populate for you. So we come down to panel 2, and this is where you set the service types that this customer can book. So can they book courier services? So first class VIP, executive business corporate, so on. So you can kind of define the services they can and can't book if you offer them. If you don't offer them, then they won't be obviously shown to the customer at the time of booking. And then to save time, the default vehicle time, so what's the most popular vehicle that they're going to book. So it just populates this on the various booking interfaces. So whether they're booking online or on the passenger app, or your call center is taking a booking, this is the one that's going to be populated, just saves time. With each corporate account, they're going to want to be able to capture references. So on an account by account basis, you can determine what is shown to your call center bookers or on the apps. So some corporates might want a cost center. Okay, is it mandatory? Yes, must be captured with every booking. And is it validated against an existing list in the system? Some corporates can provide you with an Excel file. They can also do this online. Through our corporate web booker, they can upload their own references as well to the system, and these references change from month to month or week to week even as certain projects progress or get closed. So cost center, we want to add another one. It's going to be called a project reference. Okay, it's not mandatory, and you can just keep going on and on and on. So you can save these as you go. So let's call this one case number. There you go. And when we've completed these sections, I'll show you on the booking page how these are shown. I think the beauty of this is that you can, on a customer by customer basis, you can show them the information that they're used to. So you're not just asking for a reference. For each company, when they call in or when they go online, they know what a cost center is because they work within the business. Okay, so moving on to dispatch and communication preferences. So we have our email options here when we want to communicate with the customers. We also have our text message, SMS options here. So we'll just run through them. So when a booking is made, do you want to send an email booking confirmation to this customer? Yes or no? Do you want to send the passenger an email when the vehicle is en route, arrived, when the vehicle's arrived, or both? Okay, so they get two emails, one when the vehicle goes en route, and that will have an estimated time of arrival using real-time traffic, so it's going to be accurate, and another email when the vehicle's arrived. Okay, so do you want to remind the customers of this company when they've got a booking 24 hours before? Yes or no? And in all of the emails, do you want to send a tracking link so they can see where the vehicle is? And that simply opens a web page on their phone or their PC with a link, a view of where they are in relation to the vehicle. So for text messaging, exactly the same. Do you want to send a text message? You'll have to agree to the SMS terms because there's a charge for this. Do you want to send a booking confirmation? Do you want to send a text message when the vehicle is en route and arrived? Booking confirmation, so very, very similar. This one here relates to flight delays. So if the flight is delayed more than 30 minutes, we can send an SMS to the customer saying we're aware of the flight delay and not to worry, the car will arrive at the scheduled arrival time. And that just puts their mind at rest to know that they're not going to be charged waiting time. And we check these flights from 2 hours prior to takeoff. So similarly to the email, do you want to send a tracking link? And that obviously goes when the vehicle goes en route and arrived, so they can see by clicking the text message exactly the same map as they would do when they click an email. So some customers are more important than others. Do you want to highlight the color on the unallocated page so that your dispatchers can see, so just so it pops out, so we can put a color in there. And again, some customers are more important than others. So the dispatch time that the system calculates, it does that using fleet, locations, availability, real-time traffic. It's always taking a snapshot every 5 minutes. It's looking forward 2 hours, all the work that needs to be dispatched in the next 2 hours. So for if Bank of Ireland was one of your most important customers, then you could say, I want this to be sent out 50% quicker than another company account that has 0, right? So if the system determined that based on all of the variables that the dispatch time was 30 minutes from the time of booking, that's when the arrival time that the customer is expecting the vehicle, by putting 50% there would add on 15% to that, so 45 minutes before the scheduled arrival time, this would be dispatched, or it would start to highlight on the unallocated page so the dispatcher knows that it has to be sent out. So when the vehicle arrives, do you want to schedule a call? Okay, and that will pop up on the driver's device. Can the driver reject this trip for this customer account? So obviously the more important the customer, the less options you want to give the driver. So selecting no here removes the handback reject button on the app, so the driver can only accept the booking. When the ride is complete, do you want to send a request for feedback? And I think this is important to know how the service is being carried out on the road. It comes back to the driver is the weakest link with the most customer contact all the time. So you may want to include that. When the ride's complete, sends an email, asks for some feedback. And that's done through various providers. So it would be FIFO or Tech360's review product that we've integrated. So we send the data when the ride is completed to these external service providers, and they communicate with the customers. So here we have a field for airport waiting time allowance for this particular customer. There's a whole other section when we come to the pricing matrix that you'll see where we calculate allowances and increments for waiting time, but this is a cover-all for each customer account to say that the waiting time included for this customer account at every airport is 50 minutes, for example. Can this account be booked internally? Yes, you want to be able to, when somebody calls in, you want somebody in your call center to be able to call up this account. If we were adding an account here for the web booker or the passenger app, then no, you'd select a no there, so that because nobody they'd be booking on the apps as opposed to calling in. So on-demand surge pricing, you'll see this in another video where we cover this in a minute. Under service types, you'll see increased price by on-demand surge pricing, and you can switch that on and off here. You'll get an idea of what this is. It's the closer to the time of booking they are booking, you can affect the price. So if they book within 4 hours, you may have an agreed rate, but you could also have a set of terms that says if you book within 4 hours, it's 20% more. If you book within 8 hours, it's 10% more. So you can switch this on and off per customer. Smart dispatch, so our algorithm that runs through, as I said, every 5 minutes creates a new snapshot of fleet availability. It's going to highlight issues for you, but sometimes you may not want auto dispatch on a particular customer account, so you can turn that off. Quiet mode, so any booking on this account would display on the driver's app as the customer has requested quiet mode. You can leave it as no for the account, because when you add users to this account, you can select yes, so they get their own communication plan. So everything you see here and some down here also appears on the user's profile, so they can switch that on and off. This next row relates to our TSM, again the ride bridge module, so you can ignore that. And then we've got some options down here. So is this account able to book on the passenger app? Yes, it is. Is this account able to book on the web? Yes, you can switch these on and off. Do you want to display the pricing on the web? It's sometimes if you have an agreement with a corporate account and their users are going online to book transportation, in theory, there's no reason why the user needs to see the price. Okay, so you could set that to no. You've already got the agreement, the pricing agreement with the corporate customer themselves, and nobody else really needs to see the price. Do you want to display the price, the driver price on the app in the vehicle? So we've hidden the price for the driver, but they can access it obviously, and if you have a passenger in the vehicle and for some reason the drivers push the button where they can see the price, you know, it wouldn't look too good if the customer thinks, well, I've paid €100 or £100 or dollars for this ride, and I can see the driver's getting 20. They don't know the mechanism behind that. Maybe it's your vehicle. So really, that's your choice. But it is hidden on the device, and in theory, the driver shouldn't. There'd be no reason why the driver would go to it while the passenger was in the vehicle. So similar to displaying the price on the web, do you want to display the price to the booker on email confirmation? So the booker isn't necessarily the passenger. It could be the person booking on behalf of the passenger. And do you want to display the price to the passenger on the email confirmation as well? So they're kind of tied together. So the booker will get an email, the passenger will get an email, and you can show the booker the price if you want, and the passenger not, or neither. But it's set to no. So the next section, financial and billing. So this is when the invoice is generated if you're using our internal invoicing product. We do integrate with web-based accounting products like Xero, QuickBooks, and one other we've got going on at the moment. But if you're invoicing from iVcardo, you obviously need the company name that you're billing. So that may be different from the actual name of the company. Their tax number, the tax rate you charge to this customer. You can have a call booking fee, which is shown on the invoice. So if you can say, we've given you all the tools, the passenger app, we've given you the web booker for you to book online. But if you insist on calling us and making reservations over the phone, then there's a standard fee of €2, £2, dollars. Okay. Payment terms to be shown on the invoice, 14, 30 days. Okay. Is there an admin fee? So you've got your net price, then you can add a 10% admin fee, which has its own line item. And then this is just for the integration. So again, if you're using one of our integrated products, you put the nominal code. So when we post this information, we know where to post it to. So, and when you're pricing this account, so for every job that's booked, is it just pick up to drop, or do you do kind of a round robin? So in America, it's called garage to garage. In the UK, it's called base to base. So you have a pickup point and an end point that's always the same. And the collection and destination become almost vias in the middle of those two addresses. Okay, and to add an address, you can just click on here and start typing. All right, and check the box. So the billing address for the company here, again, it may be different from the actual company, Bank of Ireland. It could be a holding company or a parent company, and obviously the address goes in there. Just coming down to notes. So we have notes that maybe we want to show in the call center when they load this customer account. We want to show some notes. So I just populated some information here. So for the telephonist, a kind of note would be, please make sure you add the booker name. Okay. For the dispatcher, when they're allocating the ride, it says do not send driver 234. You can also block that driver using the grading. So you don't necessarily need to write notes like that, but it just gives you an idea. And then the driver notes on the device, well, entrance to the building is in Almornay Street, so that maybe the official address of the building is in one street, but the entrance is the collection and drop-off point is in another. And these are permanent notes, so they stay there all the time, so you can come back and edit them, remove them, add new ones, add to them. Global corporate compliance policy, we'll come onto that in another video session. Under account users down here, we'll come onto that afterwards. So legal, compliance, web addresses, and online booking URL. So the terms and conditions URL, okay, so you provide that. You can have a separate terms and conditions for every single one of your corporate customers. So you can have SLAs built into it, cancellation policies. They may differ from company to company. And this goes out in the communications. It's also available in the corporate web booker that we have. Your privacy policy URL, FAQs, and then your web booking URL, which you create a DNS entry for, and then you enter that here, and that's shared when you're adding users or bookers to this corporate account. So that covers this section. We're just going to click on Save, and you can see now we've got our new Bank of Ireland corporate account here. I can add users to this account, which we'll cover in the next video. I can share any prices that I've created on this account. We'll show you that in another video. I can add sub accounts, so the Bank of Ireland might have sub accounts underneath. And that's useful for the web booker, corporate web booker, because you can have you can bill on individual account by account basis. So let's just have a look at the reservation form. So you can see when I pull up the Bank of Ireland, okay, this is our booking form. It loads to our default account, but I'm just going to populate this one here. And I just wanted you to see that the reference numbers, so when somebody's calling in, your call center staff are asking for the right information. Okay, so you'll see that pop up because we set that to mandatory, if you remember in the video, and these two we didn't. Okay, so there's no mandatory, but that so they wouldn't be able to proceed without this information. Thanks for watching.